In this week's Tableau Tip Tuesday, I'm going to show you how to use level of detail expressions to filter your data to just the latest month and to view the sales for the latest day. Let me explain this through an example. So let's say that I want to look at my order date at the day level, and I want to look at it by region, and I just simply want to look at sales. If I go to the end of each line, you'll see that the dates are different. December 29th, December 29th, December 28th, and December 30th. What I want to be able to do is return the sales for just that latest date. And I'll explain to you why I want to do that. First, I'm going to go ahead and create a custom date on my order date field to filter this view to just my latest month. So to do that, I'm going to right click on order date, go down to create custom date, and in my detail I'm going to pick month and year, and I'll just call this month and year. Hit OK. Alright, so that gives me just a new field for my month and year. So now what I need to do is I need to create a calculation that's going to basically tell me yes or no, am I in the latest month? So I'm going to create another calculated field, and I'm going to say, call this one latest month. And in this case, I'm going to use a level of detail calculation. I'm just going to do the max of my new month year. Oops. And is that and close that off. And this is basically looking at my entire data set and returning the maximum month and year. And is that equal to my month and year? And it's going to return a Boolean. Hit OK. And you'll see it's a true false, so I can just drag that to my filters, pick true, and notice now that I'm only seeing the month of December 2015, the latest month of my data set. So that's the first thing. We just used a level of detail expression to dynamically filter our view to the last month. So if this data were to be refreshed, it's 2016 now, I would then see the latest month. I would see the month of the month of April as I record this. Okay, so from here, what I want to do is I like to have dots on the end of my lines so that I can color code them, maybe by profit ratio or something like that. So to do that, I'm going to create another calculation that's going to return my latest date, or it's going to check for my latest date. So here, I'm going to call this one latest date per region. In this case, I'm going to fix my level of detail calculation to the region, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to evaluate it. I'm going to say return the max order date. So this is basically saying for each region, return the max order date. Okay, so now we have this field called latest date per region. Now what I want to do is I want to create another calculated field, and I'm going to call it my latest sales. And this is going to say if, I'm going to use an IIF in this case, my order date is equal to my latest date per region, then return sales, else null. And we said OK again. So all this is doing is saying if it's going to look across my view and it's saying if my order date is equal to my latest date per region, then give me the sales, otherwise null. So now what I can do is I can put this on the secondary axis, go ahead and synchronize these, and you'll see I have a dot on the end of my line, but that dot corresponds with the correct last date for each region. I'm going to go ahead and hide this indicator for the nulls. And from here, it's just a matter of doing a bit of cleanup. So I'm going to go to my all marks card and remove measure names from the color. Go to my latest sales and change this mark type to a circle. And from here, I'm going to create a profit ratio calculation. And this is simply the sum of profit divided by the sum of sales. Hit OK. And then I'm going to go ahead, and format this field, change my default number format to 1 decimal place percentages. And then I'm going to drag that to color for my circles. And now I can see that on that last day of each region, you see I have a couple of them that are declined and a couple of them that increased. I'm going to go ahead and change my color palette to red to black and force the center to 0. I like to use black for positive and red for negative. So from here, I can go ahead and I'm going to make these like spark lines. So I'm going to untick the include zero, make them independent. Then I'm going to do a bit of formatting. Right click, choose format, go to my little paintbrush and remove my grid lines, remove my zero lines. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and hide my header and then shrink these down. Okay, and then lastly, I can go ahead and hide the header for my dates. So now I have nice compact spark lines and maybe hide my field labels for my rows. I have nice compact spark lines. What I could do is I could now put this order, I could put my latest sales in here again and make it discrete. And now, oops, that looks like it broke it, so let me take that out. Sorry about that. Nope, what did I do? Let me go back, undo a couple steps. See, everybody messes up. Okay, so what this has allowed me to do, so I've created a couple of level of detail calculations here. The first one allowed me to filter for my latest month. And again, that calculation just simply looks at, I first created a custom date at the month and year level, and then I evaluated the entire data set, and I say, if I'm in my latest month and year, if that's equal to my month and year for my data set, return true. And now I'm filtering to just December. In this case, because that's my latest date. But this, again, this would be a dynamic filter. And from there, I created another calculation to return my latest date per region. So here I fixed it on the region level and returned my maximum order date. So this is basically saying for each region, return the max order date. And then my latest sales, sorry about that, I'm just simply checking, is my order date equal to that latest date? And if it is, returning sales. So hopefully you found this helpful, and I'll be back next week with another tip.